I have found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Throughout life, whether in school, applying to college, choosing a major, or making career decisions, people often advise having something to fall back on. But I never understood that concept. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least that way, I can see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There was an old IQ test with 9 dots, and the challenge was to draw 5 lines without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big and dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in baseball history. But people don't remember the strikeouts. They remember the home runs. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments, but the 1,001st led to the invention of the light bulb. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You must take risks. You've probably heard that before, but let me tell you why it's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will struggle, there's no doubt about it. And while that may not be a typical message for a graduation speech, I say embrace it because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early in my career, I auditioned for a Broadway musical. A perfect role except for one thing. I couldn't sing. I didn't get the job, but I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. Instead, I walked out of that audition and prepared for the next one and the next and the next. I prayed, I worked, and I failed again and again. But failure didn't stop me. There's an old saying, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. Eventually, I caught a break. Last year, I performed in a Broadway play called Fences. The most incredible part? It was at the same theater where I had failed that first audition 30 years earlier. Every graduate here today has the training and talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail? Because if you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. Imagine yourself on your deathbed, surrounded by the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential, the ghosts of the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used. They stand around your bed, angry and disappointed, saying, "We came to you because you could have brought us to life. Now we have to go to the grave with you." So, I ask you, how many ghosts will be around your bed when your time comes? I just returned from South Africa, a beautiful country but with places of deep poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The world needs help, whether it's the Middle East, Japan, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, or Philadelphia. And we need it from you. We need it from the young people. You must get out there and give everything you have. Your time, talent, prayers, and treasures. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you have money, others have patience, kindness, love, or the gift of perseverance. Whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with it? Now here's my final point about failure. Sometimes failure is the best way to figure out where you're going. Life will never be a straight path. I started college as a pre-med student, but I struggled. Then I switched to pre-law, then journalism, and eventually I lost focus. My grades plummeted and the university politely suggested I take some time off. At 20 years old, I was at my lowest point. Then, on March 27, 1975, I was in my mother's beauty shop when an older woman, considered an elder in our town, kept staring at me. Finally, she removed the dryer from her head and said something I will never forget. "Young boy, I have a prophecy. You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." Years later, just as she prophesied, I traveled the world and spoke to millions through my movies. Up until then, they had only seen my characters, but today I see you. I am encouraged and strengthened by what I see. Taking risks is not just about going for a job, it's about being open to people, ideas, and opportunities. The chances you, take, the people you meet, the faith you have. That's what will define you. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give it everything you've got. And when you fall in life, always remember this: fall forward.